Last question today is from Amy. Amy says, David, you've discussed not eating pork and also that you haven't seriously considered veganism. That's have not seriously considered veganism. Is there some sort of hierarchy for what is okay to eat? Is it more or less ethical to eat one animal versus another? This is such a can of worms, Lewis. So yeah, I've talked about how I don't eat pork, and not for religious reasons, but just because pigs are really smart. They're as smart as dogs, essentially. I wouldn't eat a dog, so I don't eat pig, and I avoid any kind of pig products, including sausages that, while they may be turkey sausages, they might have pig casing. To the extent that I'm aware of it and can ask, I avoid any pork products. I stopped eating octopus. Not that I was ever regularly eating octopus, after I tried it and didn't like it, and then found out that octopi are really, really smart and they can figure out relatively complex, at least as far as animals are concerned, problems and so on and so forth. So is it more or less ethical to eat one animal versus another? That's sort of passing judgment to say it is more or less ethical. I think that how intelligent animals are is one of many ways that people can determine whether they're comfortable consuming that animal.
I think so. I feel that ethical, I don't know if ethical is the right word. I guess we're dealing with ethics here. I do feel bad when I'm eating something that I know is an intelligent animal. Other people don't think about it at all. They don't have this dilemma. And so I have tried not to eat as much meat in general. And when I do, I prefer to eat dumber animals, I guess you could say. And fish would be my go-to protein.
And
I
it's
guess
funny because I agree with you. And a friend of mine recently said, who is a pescatarian, who only eats fish and seafood, he said, listen, I've stopped eating lobster because even though you hear that lobsters are really dumb, they're actually quite social. And if an animal is social, like a whale, for example, or others, I feel guilty eating them. And I've heard that actually fish are not quite as dumb as we think. So now I'm thinking of cutting those out as well. So I think the point is everyone sort of has their own line. You know, the issue of intelligence, eating a gorilla, which resembles humans in so many ways, would really feel very different to me than when I eat fish or chicken.
yes, that's just us though. I'm sure other people feel differently. I can't help but feel that way. And I think just about every species we've discussed, every animal is probably smarter than we give them credit for, because there's still a lot of research to be done in all of those departments. But I guess as it stands right now, I still eat chicken, I still eat beef, I still eat just about anything. I try not to eat too much pork, but if I could choose a protein, I guess fish would be. I'd have the least. I would feel better about eating fish compared to all the others.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking a lot about eating beef because there's all these videos circulating around about how cows really seem to like it when humans talk to them and they actually react. I don't know. There's cows that are really seeming like they're much more into contact with humans and so on and so forth. Cows are kind of cool now, I'm realizing, and I'm starting to second guess even that. I don't know. And it is one of those things where, depending on what your relationship is to these animals outside of those animals as food, I think that also impacts you quite a bit. Now, have you ever thought about, and I know you haven't, in the sense that you haven't considered veganism, but when you drink milk or eat honey, for example, or eat eggs, do you have any of the same thoughts associated with when you know you're eating a pig, which is really quite smart?
No, I really have no problem using animal products. I think we can harvest those products in a humane way, and I think we can at the same time take great care of the animals that yield those products. So that's not an issue for me at all.
Yeah, it's never crossed my mind, as I've said before, to banish all of those products from my diet. And I know that every time we talk about this in some way, shape, or form, we get emails from vegans who say that including up to and including that I'm an evil person and just a bad person because I consume honey and milk and eggs. And I know that there are instances where those can be harvested or collected in a way that is harmful to the animal. And I have to tell you, after finding out about the collection of caviar and seeing these large fish just sort of Well, we don't have to get into the details, but certain suffice it to say, cut open in a way that seemed quite gruesome. Caviar is not something that I'm at all interested in, aside from the fact that it's really expensive.
Yeah, actually, we should be buying honey. And, in some cases, I think it's good to be purchasing these products. There's a huge problem with bee populations.
Yeah.
And where there are beekeepers, keeping them alive and making honey, I mean, okay, I'm all about that. Let's support that. And also, honey is just the most wonderful thing ever.
Yeah, I'm hugely supportive of the sort of what would it be called? Semi-pro or more amateur beekeeping that has been going on, sustainable beekeeping, definitely. So anyway, there's my idea, but whether we're talking about strict morality or ethics with regard to one animal versus another, I think it's pretty tough to do that. But for me, I certainly am not adding any new meat. So I've never eaten deer. And I'm not going to start eating deer. I've never eaten whale, and I'm certainly not going to start eating whale. I've cut out pork altogether. And I'm really a seafood and poultry guy with the occasional beef here and there. I do like a good hamburger, etc. But that's where I am, and that's my line. And I'm curious to hear from other people where their line is. Make sure to sign up for membership and get access to the bonus show, which is coming up right after this show. Check out a sample bonus show and sign up at davidpakman.com/membership.